Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if this is your first time. Welcome back if it's not your first time. Welcome home if that's how you're in relation. So today what I'd like to do is have a conversation about the new moon that's happening on the 28th of July, 2022. This happens at 5 degrees of Leo. And it happens at 12:55 p.m. Central Time. So we know that a new moon is when the sun and moon are conjunct, which means they appear to be right on top of one another. It's when the moon is dark, right? So anyway, let's just start by saying that this is a fire-dominated energy, right? This is about the sun and Jupiter, right? Big, bright planets. This is about big energy. And here's why it's actually really important. So this new moon happens on the 28th of July. It happens just a couple of hours before Jupiter goes into retrograde until November, the end of November. So what is important to note here is that this Jupiter cycle of retrograde will be, I want to use the word dominated, but that's not really it, influenced strongly by the energies of this new moon. So it behooves us all to pay attention. So let's talk about the sun and the moon. The sun, of course, is the planet that rules our will, our ego, our self, right? Our identity, our power, and our vitality, right? It is the energy of our heart center, right? It's about where we find hope. It's about our confidence and creativity, our authority, our masculine self energy, right? It's about our conscious mind, right? Our conscious minds. The moon is about feelings and emotions. It's about our roots and our memories, about our mother, our instinct, our reflectiveness, and our reflections, right? Our sense of belonging, our conditioning, where we find and seek safety, our cycles, our past, right? It's about our feminine self-energy. It is about our unconscious, right? Our responses. Now here's the deal. Leo energy is very much in line with the sun's energy, right? It's about where we are powerful, where we are joyful, where we are creative, right? Where we witness our vitality, right? Where we see ourselves as imaginative and sensitive and adaptive and intuitive, right? Where we really live in our feelings. It's also where we find ourselves proud or arrogant or pompous, right? Or boastful. It's where we find ourselves insecure or unreliable or kind of hysterical, right? And then together, they're all about that vitality and warmth, right? Our enthusiasm, our self-expression, how we are willing to create, how we are willing to be courageous and theatrical and larger than life, where we want to be the star of the show, where we might be things like dramatic or bossy or over-determined or even relentless. Where we want to assert our dominance or show off, right? Where we are easily wounded, you know, that whole concept of, don't you love me? Don't you love me? What do you mean? So here's the deal. This Leo new moon sets us up for a cycle of self-focus, right? A cycle of self-focus and how that looks and feels in terms of perspective. It's how we express ourselves, how we determine ourselves, how we are self-focused and self-creating, right? So let's have a conversation about what else is going on in the sky. I mentioned that there is a trine to Jupiter at this new moon. which sits at 8 degrees of Aries. And like I said, just a couple of hours after we witness this new moon, Jupiter goes retrograde, right? So Jupiter is all about growth and expansion, luck, wisdom, fortune, abundance, right? It is about self-improvement and the desire for self-improvement. It's about hope and optimism. Like Leo energy, this is very generous. It is expansive, but it can also be overconfident. It can also not be mindful of details, right? Because Jupiter is about the positive mind, right? I can do it. It's overly optimistic. It might overly promise with no foundation up underneath it, right? Here's the deal. But going retrograde at this new moon, this is a shift to internal energies, right? How are you creating yourself, right? Are you just filling yourself with hot air, or are you really creating a reality, right? Where is your conscious mind? Where is your active process? Where is your chosen, heart-driven opportunity, right, to live in the world? Or where is your arrogance, or your reactivity, or your insecurity, or your validation-seeking behavior? So at this new moon, what we really want to do is be mindful, well, all throughout this Jupiter retrograde cycle, right? Starting with this Leo new moon, we really want to be mindful of our impulsive or reckless behaviors. We really want to witness and explore those places where we are seeking that kind of look at me validation, right? Where are those behaviors? Where are those patterns? Where are those cycles? Where are the motivations, right? And instead, we want to focus on becoming, pioneering, and exploring, and enterprising, and ardent, right? Ardent, which means done with love. We also have a Mercury square Mars, the North Node, and Uranus, right? This Uranus North Node Mars conjunction, I am doing a completely separate video on, but at the moment of this new moon, we have a square to Mercury. So this is about your self-expression, right? And your ability to act as your own agent of change, right? To become your own catalyst and driver of your own destiny. Here's the deal. This is about your sovereign energy, okay? So how does that affect this new moon, right? So this new moon gives you an opportunity to create yourself, right? Based on authenticity and originality and joy and love and peace and surrender and what you witness as your highest and best, and the highest and best of the collective. This is a cycle of self-focused energy, okay? It looks and feels like whatever that feels and looks like for your perspective. We need to focus on things like courage. We need to focus on being the example, right? Not being influenced. And not seeking to influence others through our words, but through the creation of our own highest expressed self. So what we are being invited to do is to lead with compassion. Wow, look at that. What a beautiful card for right there. Leading with compassion, right? Transforming your focus to self, not others. Whoa. Okay then. Understanding that there's no need to be the star, right? That whole concept of like a real one don't need to tell you that they're a real one. That's what this new moon cycle is all about. It's all about becoming the real one, right? So let's have this conversation. We've got the 10 of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Glorious, right? 10 of Cups is all about shared emotional satisfaction. The Queen of Cups is all about embodying that emotional satisfaction. So this is about how you create you, and how then through creating you, you are able to create for others and as others, and create that solid foundation, that brand new self, right, that represents, that is able to hold that confident, vital energy within the bounds of belonging, within the bounds of safety, right? This is about, right, just gorgeous. Queen of Cups is all about the highest embodiment of your emotional expression, which is really what the combination of Sun, Moon, Leo energy is that feeling sense of satisfaction, of fulfillment, right? And being able to express yourself as those things. We've got the Magician, we've got the Nine of Wands. So the Magician is about creation, creation in the 3D, right? And as we have that creation in the 3D, this is about mastery of all the elements, right? Jupiter is a beautiful master energy. Leo is a beautiful master energy. And so as we become in our self-determination, as we become in our self-expression, as we become in our self-creation, what happens is the Nine of Wands asks us, what are we defending, right? What are we holding on to in terms of, you know, passion, ideas that are based in desire, but could be a little overmuch, right? This is knowing where our stamina is, our endurance is. And the thing here is, it's okay to hold on, right? But if you're holding on in the name of pride, right, here's what happens when you have 9 wands and you add one more, you end up with the 10 of wands, which is overwhelm, right? We talked about that, overly optimistic, over-promising, right, with no foundation. The key here is knowing how you can adapt, knowing how you can create something new, how you can be inclusive, right? Leo is super capable of the widest expression, right? The most magnanimous, the most generosity. So create your reality so that you don't have to support too much, so that you're supporting just enough, right? 9 of Wands, it's about discernment. So here we have the Hermit and the Page of Wands. So the Hermit, right, is all about finding the light within, right? This is gorgeous for Leo, which is all about the heart, which is all about shining as oneself, right? Creating the self that is allowed to be the star, right, of the show. And the Hermit is about going within, finding that quiet. And so the significance of finding this as we have the trine of Jupiter to this new moon right before Jupiter goes into retrograde, right, asks us, find the new thing, find that new passion, right? Page of Wands is all about energy coming toward you that is going to light you up, right? Wands are about your passion, your motivation, your dedication, what fires you up, what gets your feet on the floor every morning, right? Wands are about the juice of living, where these cups are about the emotional fulfillment, right? The wands are about creation of a life that is the manifestation, the expression of your heart's desire, right? Something that you're enthusiastic about, something that makes you vitally alive. And so what is that, right? Jupiter's asking you to find it in this new moon cycle. Really hone and refine your why, right? Without all of the need for external validation. This is just you, right? This is just you. The only way to create, right? The only way to be in creation is to tune out the noise and static and to create without distraction, without overwhelm, without feeling overburdened or like you're obligated, right? This is about creation from your heart. And then we have Justice and the Seven of Cups. Okay, so Justice is about balance, harmony, fairness, right? It's about finding that center point of balance. We talked about this as as Mercury squares Mars, Uranus, in the North Node here, this is about your self-expression and how you are able to act as your own agent of change, right? This is where you find your sovereignty, your authenticity, your originality, right? This is where you surrender to the highest and best. Justice always surrenders to the highest and best. It's always about seeking highest balance. And the Seven of Cups says there are a million ways to do that, right? Without the distraction, right? Without the circus, the dog and pony show, without the whatever it is, right? Seven of Cups allows you to be in your discernment and cut away anything that's not necessary. So this Jupiter retrograde cycle in the middle of retrograde season is really asking you to stay focused, right? To stay focused on your self-expression, your self-determination, your self-creation, and not to be distracted, right, by what's going on in your periphery. Only what's going on in your heart. Only what's going on in your soul, right? It's your journey, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And look, we have the 4th chakra, the Archangel Raphael. Okay, so 38, that's an 11, that's a power number, certainly. And so let's talk about the 4th chakra, which of course is, as we know, the heart chakra, right? Let me get there. Okay, this is about love, compassion, and self-acceptance. Raphael extends a beautiful green energy surrounded by gentle waves of pink to your heart center. This card upright indicates that you now have a greater readiness to receive love from others as well as to love yourself. Absolutely, right? It could also indicate that a much needed healing from a previous broken heart is taking place. Well, let's hope that's true for all of us, right? The tender vibrations of Raphael remind you to encourage yourself with compassionate self-talk that you desire to hear from others. Know that as you do, the light from your heart center will shine with an irresistible beauty, and the universe will send people and situations that cause your sense of love and support to grow. So again, right, we also know that the 4th chakra is also known in Sanskrit as the Anahata. And what that means is that we love like we have never been hurt, right? It means the unstruck, right? The purely unstruck. So this kind of corresponds to that 6 of Cups energy here in the tarot, where we love without condition. We love without fear, right? We love in a state of wide openness, right? Simply because we trust that everything will work out, especially when it's hard, right? So as we go into this new moon, what I might recommend is that you start speaking about your self-focus to yourself. How am I expressing myself? How am I determining myself? How am I creating myself, right? Am I in alignment? Am I working toward my highest and best personal vision and collective vision? Am I in alignment with my own creative power, right? And am I in my discernment? Am I leading with compassion? Am I willing to transform my focus to myself, right? And be my own star, right? To be my own real one that doesn't need to tell anybody that I am that real one, right? Can I ardently create myself, pioneeringly, exploringly, enterprisingly, right? Outside of my own cycles, outside of my own conscious awareness and subconscious cycles of what I need or what I want, instead living within what I desire, right? What I desire. This is a beautiful, beautiful new moon. There's a lot of work available in this new moon. So take the opportunity to really explore your own sovereignty and your expression of your sovereignty. I highly also recommend that you listen to the Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction video, because it has a lot of information about the influence of this new moon on that aspect. It's really powerful time right now. I don't like to be a portal blower, right? And talk about, oh, it's this portal, oh, it's that portal, because, right, you are the portal. The portal is you, right? And it's open all the time. So I will just say the universe right now has laid beautiful groundwork for the opening and work on and as and through your own personal portal, right? So take advantage of this opportunity and this blessing. So yeah, take care. Big love, guys.